Are you ready to bathe in the salty tears of the gods? Godtear, head to head. What we're going to be exploring in the next couple of Godtear Tactica vlogs. We're jumping into the missions here. We're looking at the core missions in both rulebook starter sets, the foundation of Godtear, and we're looking at this from an overall general architecture tactica. One of the great things about Godtear is within the missions, there are so many ways to accomplish and play it. Looking at the various different warbands, the buffs, debuffs, different combos, and every time a new warband and champion gets added, that matrix changes. So infinite combinations, which is great because while we all have our favorite champions and playstyles, things are always up in the air, in the moment, for that victory. So the first one, and what we're looking at here is when I go in, regardless of the warbands, there's like three layers to these tactica. The first is the actual mission itself. What are my general plans? Generally, how does the mission play out? What are the fraction points that I need to be aware of? Then I layer over it my warbands. Then I layer over it in the moment based on the round. Am I winning? Am I losing? Do I want to pop off the once per game power? Do I want to be a little bit more aggressive? Do I want to pull back and concede this round and start strong the next? Exploring that different tactica. So we're looking at that first point. The first one is life, the life-giving tiers. And essentially this is a 4 hex counter tier pile in the center of the board. And as the turns go out, the tiers radiate randomly. They will add tiers, and they're controlled by the loser of the turn. They get to place where those tiers go. So the first thing, of course, is we've got something central in the middle. And beginning turn 1, turn 2, that's where we're going to be facing. We've got to get up there and plant a banner and claim. We're also going to be smashing banners and removing banners. So champions, especially if they're slayers, are going to be heavily involved in this mission. The first question, of course, is, depending on the warbands you choose, can you reliably get up there turn 1 and plant? Not all warbands can. Some of the slower ones cannot. If you can't plant, then do you have ranged attacks on the various warbands where you could pick off some followers and some secondary objectives to at least maybe win or tie the round that way? But that opening move of getting up there quick and planting is huge. What's going to happen at that point is this is a really just free-for-all battle royale mission, because those 4 hexes, those 4 tier piles, you're going to be fighting over them with your champions constantly. You also see the most potential champion deaths, or I should say not deaths, you don't die, knockouts in this because they're so involved. As you lose, though, and these tier piles pull back, what you get now are these kind of chains, especially if you roll high, where 2 things are happening. Now I'm expanding the tier field for my champions, so possibly if I'm playing a 3-champion warband, I think most of us play 3, but you could do 2, or even 1, or even more custom games. Now you might be able to have more defensive champions hang back on your side, plant a banner, and sort of camp. So as we move to the mid-turns, the game becomes more about staking your claim and kind of guarding it. You also have the opportunity in developing those tier piles to have them trail back and literally cut the map in half, which is a great way of blocking off most followers. I won't say all followers, but most followers will be able to be blocked off. That allows you to isolate and take less attacks, or depending on the warband or the champion, isolate some enemy followers and pick up those points for later in the round. And then by the end of the round, camping becomes super important. If we're going that far, if someone hasn't won, mid-game or early on, to qualify, what you see is there's not much left, and what activations you have, we might not necessarily want to spend them bringing back followers. You're just kind of camping. You're just kind of waiting. And units that have ranged attacks, warbands and followers that have ranged attacks, are still very, very powerful. This is kind of the first intro mission because tactically, or I should say not intro mission, the first mission we play, because tactically it involves all aspects of Godtear. It's got to get you up there fast. It's got your champions engaged. It's got the warband engaged. It's got the followers engaged. We're buffing, we're debuffing. And then it kind of slows down, radiates, and figures out what happens. So the overall tactica, I'm looking at my warbands, I'm looking at your warbands. What pace can I reasonably maintain in this game, in this mission, based on the warbands you have? If I can go for an early alpha strike and just dominate turn 1, turn 2, plant flags, dominate, rack that up, then yes, we're doing that. If I can't necessarily do that, then can I concede and strengthen tier piles and strengthen fortifications and win mid and end game and pull that? That's the possibility. Or do I do a little bit of both and see where the dice lead me, or ideally, hopefully, my opponent makes some mistakes. Not that I don't make mistakes, but capitalizing on mistakes and mismoves in God tier is vital. It's very, very important. Is that strategy possible?